The project is unique. It has struggled. It has been 12 years, I believe, and it has had its challenges, and some of them aren't foreseen, some of them should be foreseen.
What's amazing about the Mytholmroyd community is their tenacity, their sheer determination not to be beaten by whatever gets thrown at them.
This is truly unique. There are lots of projects throughout the country, but why is this one? Why is this one special? And it's special for one reason, that's the people of Mytholmroyd.
Schemes like this, there is always a danger that the attention and focus will move elsewhere. And what we need to do is keep that focus. We need to keep banging the drum to make sure that people don't forget about things like this, and that the huge amount of time and money already invested in this building isn't wasted.
I would guesstimate that probably this is going to be £1 million plus project by the time it's finished. Fortunately, unfortunately, people on the ground have to have huge forbearance and patience and determination and wit. They have to have the wits about you with this game to actually achieve the end result.
My own personal favourite would have been, I'd love to have seen it be in a pub. It would be difficult to turn it into a public house really because of the weird staircase arrangements. But I've been told that there's going to be quite an emphasis on the arts here, which would be quite interesting. And again, it's all about the perception of what this building is being used from, not only from the road, but from the railway as well. And as I say, people can think, something's going off, whether they have temporary displays on the platform once the protection is in place.
I was shown around the station building, and I thought it just is so powerful and strong and established, and the great windows, the great light. I'd only know Sue and Jeff connected with the project. And so for me, it all comes from them and their enthusiasm and their tenacity.
Right, I'm Jeff Mitchell, Chairman of the Station Partnership and also Chairman of the Station Building Charity.
For my sins, I'm Sue Mitchell and Secretary to the Station Partnership and also to the trustees Secretary.
Right. Well, first of all, we found out in 2006 that the West Yorkshire Metro were going to rebuild and modernise the station after about 10 years of neglect. So the village decided that we would form a group to prevent it going into rack and ruin and be vandalised like it was at the time of the renovation. So we started the public meeting, and 60 people turned up to the meeting, and it was decided we'd form a station adoption group with the approval of Northern Railways, as it was then.
We have a massive heritage estate on Network Rail. We have over 1,500 listed buildings. A lot of them, I will be frank, are not in the best of condition, and where we have quite a number which have not seen productive use for a long period of time. Mytholmroyd Station was one of those buildings which had lapsed into disuse over a period of time, and it was frankly a bit of a burden both on us as the custodians of the railway network and to the taxpayer, as we are a publicly funded company, and also for the people of Mytholmroyd who could see a good building which was not in the best of condition and was going to rack and ruin. Well, one of the fundamentals of listed building consent to get permission to actually alter listed buildings is that you must retain as much of the original character and fabric as far as possible, otherwise you won't get permission, or in very rare circumstances you might get permission for something different where there is obvious public benefit. But we have a very good relationship with Calderdale Council conservation officers, particularly Kate Peach and in particular Lauren Clarkson, and we've developed a good relationship about what would be permissible to retain and what wouldn't. And obviously you've got to think about the external features in the main, so all the windows and doors really should be retained as far as possible. This is such an unusual building with having two separate staircases to access the first and second floor. And that in itself is quite an unusual feature. There's some substantial staircases in themselves, and also some of the original features. Behind me here you can see of the ticket guichet, not the right term, isn't it? Ticket office entrance, and behind there, which you probably see later on, are the actual shelves where the tickets used to be kept. Tremendous original features which have been retained.
My name is Craig Whitaker. I'm the MP for the Calder Valley, which includes Mytholmroyd. Some years ago I came into the building and it was an absolute mess. The ceilings were down, the roof was leaking. It was a demolition site really inside. So to see it all cleaned up and all the plaster taken off the walls, the ceilings replastered, all maintaining and keeping the original features of the building, whether it's the fireplaces, the cornices, the fabulous stone staircases we see around the place. It really is a magnificent job to maintain the heritage of what is a heritage building here in Mytholmroyd. This project, I remember about 25 years ago, Network Rail were trying to palm the building off for £1. Thankfully nobody took it on for £1 because Network Rail actually have spent over £1 million on this building, putting the original features back to the original form. You know, then you've got to have a charity. You've got to get people involved in the charity. You need trustees. You've got to go knocking on door for money. Now, whether that's you know, the Heritage Lottery Fund, whether it's any government funds that are available, whether it's the local council funds, you've got to literally be like a pit bull terrier. Keep going back, and every time they fob you off, you've got to go back, and you've got to do things like business plans and how you're going to protect the heritage, how you're going to involve the local community. So you know the task is enormous, and it's not just here in Mytholmroyd, it's multiple sites around the Calder Valley that are doing this. But the beauty of it all, though, is that it does involve local communities, and you know, you get one or two excellent people to kick-start it off, and you get the community involved in places like Mytholmroyd, and as I see all over the Calder Valley, people are willing to get involved because it's their community.
What happens here is the community made this happen. This was a derelict building, a bit of an eyesore in the middle of what is a nice town. A bit too hilly for my likes, but a nice town. And the community thought this is not good enough. I mean, it's no railway building, so it's the railway's fault. But it's absolutely the community that made this happen. But it is the way they make us do things. They make the railway honest. But what the partnership do is they bring focus on it. It's not a chance that the car park's been built here. It's not a chance that this has happened. It's because of the focus, the partnership and the community by extension.